Yay! Hey, everybody. Hey, guys. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. We have a very special guest today for Power Hour. We had a couple people have some childcare issues and things, but Liz is here. So we're
What's
doing business
up?
Power
I
Hour. We're
mean,
going to talk about
the
lots of
part.
things.
I brought my party shirt. Like I'm ready to
We're
go,
gonna do
y'all.
it. Yeah. I love it. Well, I feel like everybody knows you. We have a lot of cross pollination, I feel like, between my community, your community, Kate Doster, the
Yeah.
Lizzie Goddard. There's kind of a lot of like people that hang
Mm-hmm.
around. But for anybody that doesn't know, because you haven't been on the show before,
Yeah.
um, introduce yourself, tell everybody the Liz Wilcox story.
Sure. So, hey, friends, you know that feeling you get when you listen to an amazing show like this one, and there's some wild woman hollering at you for every dollar you spend with email marketing, you can get $40 in return. So, go, go, go. Why are you wasting your time? Send emails,
No,
launch
no,
campaigns. Yeah, go, go, go. Limited time only, right? And then you log into your email service provider. Maybe you got ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, MailerLite, something like that. And then you promptly feel kind of dumb because you have no idea what the heck to say. Well, what's up? My name's Liz Wilcox, and I help eliminate that problem. I make email writing really simple. Yes, I really mean it. I started off as an RV travel blogger. I got really good at those little things called B2C, business to consumer emails. And when I realized that other bloggers, content creators, e-commerce businesses really weren't served, I actually sold that travel blog and I went all in on email marketing. And that's the wild woman you see today.
That's amazing. And Liz has an amazing membership that you run, right? Tell
Oh
everybody
yeah,
about
thanks for
your
bringing that. Oh yeah, and I got a
point
nine
you up
dollar.
here.
Thanks. I've got a $9 email marketing membership. That's the name of it. And I send you a weekly template for you to take and make your own. At the time of this recording, we've got about 4,000 members. And yeah, it's just the little membership that could. I love my membership so much. I love that I get to serve so many people that usually are gate kept by email. And it's really my favorite thing. Thanks for letting me chat about it for a second.
Yeah, you guys have to join her membership. So a lot of the people in my mastermind are also in yours, and they're always like telling each other, like, "Oh, you have to join like Liz Wilcox membership. Like, it's amazing, and it's such a good time saver. I think just to have. So sometimes it's like you don't want to start from like blank, right? Just to be like, here's like some things you can talk about, and here's a framework, and here's some ideas. It's like so helpful and saves so much time, and people just rave about you in your membership all the time. So if you guys aren't in there, it's $9 a month. Like, you've got to do it for email. It's amazing. I want to talk to you about collaboration. And I know this has been a big thing for your business. It's a huge part of our strategy, as you can see, because you're here collaborating on my show. It's been a huge part of how we've grown my business this last year, really focusing on networking, collaboration, events, all those types of things. How has that kind of looked in your business? Like, what are things you've used kind of the last year that have been working as far as networking and collaboration?
Yeah, so y'all, I'm a 90s chick. I've always been down with OPP, right? Like other people's platforms, other people's people. I love it. And yeah, especially in the last year, I've really tried to get even more, I don't know, what's the word, like personal with my outreach, and really just being very strategic, especially as my business grows. You know, everybody and their mother is suddenly down with Liz's OPP. Like suddenly
Let me get on that Instagram, bro.
everybody wants me to send an email out nowadays. And so I've really just looked at, you know, what are people's values, how are they positioning themselves online, and how does that you know, attract or repel me, right? And so in the last year, especially, you know, like coming on to you know, this podcast, I think it was about a year ago, I reached out on Instagram to Faith, and I said, oh, I listened to this podcast episode where you were talking about your mastermind, and I just loved the way you were talking about it. I love the way that you wanted to serve people. I feel the same way. You know, I love to serve the people that are, you know, normally kind of kept out of really good information. And I just thought it was like such a genius offer. And I think that's where we really started connecting. So that's what I've been really trying to do this year is like, it's not about what people say, it's about what they're doing. And so really digging in when someone introduces themselves, or I listen to a podcast, and really thinking about like, if I collab with this person, is it going to mess with my community over here, or is it going to enhance it? Like, is it going to help or hinder? Right.
Yeah.
And so I've had to be really strategic and really like protective of my community, because it's like this, I don't want to say delicate, but it's this ecosystem. And, you know,
Yeah.
you put an invasive species in an ecosystem, you know, suddenly you got 50-foot python in the Everglades. Like it ain't, we're both from Florida.
I'm
So
also
that's a
from
Florida
Florida.
joke.
This is a real
Right.
problem.
It's a real problem. There are real Instagrams, you know, trying to find that 20-foot python down in the Everglades, because he is wreaking havoc. And so that's how we have to look at our communities and look at our collaborations. Like, am I bringing something into my population? Am I bringing something to my audience? I've worked really hard for my platform, you know, that's going to help my platform, help my audience, or hinder them. And that's one of the reasons why I loved Faith, and why I said, you know, yes to coming on. I think I was in your summit this year. You know, I'm here now. I think we did something else together. I think I sponsored something for her, because I know her people are my people.
Yeah, that's so important. And I love that you brought up too. I also, a huge part of everything we do is community based. I just believe a lot in like everybody being together, and that it helps everybody get momentum, and that you need different people's ideas and different people all together. And I really, really love and value community a lot. But I do think that's something people forget when they have a community based offer, is like you have to be very intentional about the people that are there. And I'm super protective of my community. I always tell them, I'm like, I love you guys, but like, I don't take any shit in there. The mastermind will tell you that. And the reason why is because of what you said, like, where it's like, it's only one person that will come in here and ruin the vibe for everyone else. And I feel like very protective over it. It's like a really special community space. Like, we have people in there that talk about, gosh, everything from like their dog passed away to like their kid is sick, or to like, I mean, all kinds of things. Like, we go through like real life together in there. And I just am like, yeah, I'm like, I feel like you do, like, where it's like very protective, and it's like, we have to make sure we have the right people in here. And I think it takes a lot more intention than people realize to be able to go out and network with the right people and bring people in. And Matt even said to me the other night, he was like, it's so funny because when you're, oh my gosh, this hand gestures, when you're, he's like, it's so funny when you're pitching and selling the mastermind. He's like, you swear so much on camera. And I was like, yeah, it's on purpose, because I swear when I coach, and I don't ever want somebody to come in the community and me to say fuck and then them be like horribly upset or like feel emotional about that. Like, I don't want anybody to be surprised. And I was just telling him, I was like, yeah, there's certain things we do during the launch. Like, I swear more on camera. We're probably more upfront and like in your face than like in the actual community, just to like weed people out, which I think it's hard to do, right? Because it's like, for me, this whole thing has been like a grind where it's like you work to get your platform, right? And then you finally get it. And it's like, gosh, I want to take every opportunity. And shouldn't I like say yes to everything and go on everything? So how do you stay restrained? Because I'm sure you're getting invited to lots of things now. You know, have a pretty big network, I feel like, and are doing well online now. And so I'm sure you're getting invited to tons of things. How do you resist the temptation of like the be everywhere? Do you have any of that, or do you stay pretty like low key in your lane?
Yeah. So it's funny that Faith just said the be everywhere method, right? So y'all, I'm a huge hip hop fan. And so when I was first started marketing, I took a lesson from Drake. Y'all know Drake, right? Of course you do, because he's everywhere. In 2018, my man was on every feature. It didn't matter. Rap, hip hop, country, pop, rock, whatever. He was on that feature.
My God,
right?
I just have some flashbacks of some like rap country.
Correct. So he was on every feature, every song in 2018. I swear, Drake, if he wasn't on it, he was in it, right? Like he was selling us Sprite at the movie theater. You know, we turn on MTV. He was DJing. You know, we turn on the radio. He's on the radio, and so that really has been, you know, my strategy is just to be everywhere. But of course, as I've grown and had to think about, where are those spaces, it really comes down to taking the time to think about and write down my values. And so I have, like, in my Notion, LizWilcox.com values, right? And of course, they're actual Liz Wilcox values, right? But like, I believe one of my main things is I believe in obnoxious generosity. Like, my offer is $9, y'all, and I just had a 2-hour call before this for $9. Like, you came in, you can ask any questions, and that's just how I am. In my Black Friday offer, I'm now like doing rewards and points and all this stuff. It's like $100, right? But I believe in obnoxious
Is
generosity.
your Black Friday offer live?
And not yet, baby. It'll be
Okay.
live Monday.
I've got to talk
Monday
to you
the
because
20th.
I need your affiliate for that. Obviously,
Yeah, you need
need to
that
send it
link,
out.
baby. And so even like when someone approaches me, oh, be in my bundle, be in this, be in that. Is it coming? And I mean, you don't have to be obnoxious like Liz Wilcox, but you have to be quite generous. Like, what, is the reason I should be doing this? Oh, you're making me send out a bunch of emails, but you're only giving me 30% affiliate. That does not sound generous to me. That sounds like I'm building your platform and I'm hurting my platform because now I got to send out these emails, right?
Mhm.
And so that doesn't pass the vibe check, as my 8-year-old daughter would say. Like, the vibes are not right, mom. And so it really is that vibe check of like, does this align with my deep value of generosity? Does this align with my deep value of accessibility and inclusivity, right? Like, how much work are you asking of me and how much work are you going to put in? If the work that you're putting in is just bundling this stuff together and everyone else is promoting while you rake in the dough or the email addresses, like, I don't know if that's a vibe. Like, I don't know if we can dance together. And so really, that's when I look into, let me check out your website. Let me check out what you've done. What are people saying about you online? And that's, when I can give it a yay or a nay. Because I mean, I'm happy to send, for some people, I'm happy to send that solo email, right? But I've got to make sure, I can trust you enough with my people first.
Yeah. What advice do you have for people that are listening to this and they're like, well, that's great for you guys, but like, I'm not getting invited to anything. Like, great for you.
I mean, amen. My advice, create your own collaborations, baby. Be the stage. So for me, and this is so I've built 3 businesses. LizWilcox.com is my 3rd business. And in my first business, I just knew that I could link arms with people and appear bigger. It's like, imagine yourself for collaborations. Imagine yourself, linking arms. It's me, you, and Faith, and we're walking through the water, right? The more people you get into that, suddenly the water starts moving. You're moving the water, right? And suddenly you're making waves, baby. And so when you can create your own stage and start networking across, that's when things are going to start moving. And what I mean by that is a lot of people try to network up, right? Oh, yeah, I'm going to send Liz an email. I know she's got a list. I know she's been on podcasts. She can help me do whatever. But what we don't recognize, and the mistake that we make, especially when we're first starting out, is like, we can just look across the table. And where are those people that are, oh, I got 600 followers on LinkedIn. You've got 700, right? Oh, what can we do together? How can we link arms and appear bigger, right? Yeah. And those are the people that you want to network with. And then guess what? Suddenly you're standing on each other's shoulders and, the network elevates itself. And so for those people, I really recommend just finding those people that, are in the same boat as you, maybe a little behind, maybe a little ahead, and coming up with an idea, whether it's a summit, it's just a freebie swap. You share my freebie, I'll share yours. It's an Instagram collab. It's, taking over your Facebook Live, taking over the Facebook group for a day and answering questions. What are those little tiny things that you can do together that are going to add up and make a big impact over time?
Yeah, I love that you said that too. You were like, create your own stage, like if you're not getting invited to things. And I just said this in the mastermind earlier on the live stream we were doing. and I was talking about like there was a long time where I didn't get invited to like people's stuff, and I was always like, why doesn't anybody like me? Right? It's just like why are they all friends? Like why can't I be like somebody that like gets invited to things, and like why is this person always getting invited? And I was like, I'm good at speaking, like I like speaking. But when I stopped like having a pity party, we started doing our own events. Like I just have my own shit, and like we have our own summits, our own bundles. We reach out to people, and I get invited to a lot of things now, but I think the reason that is because I invite people way more than I am invited. Like we pitch hundreds of people every event we do. I'm like DMing people on Instagram. I'm messaging people. We're voice memoing people. Kelsey, my team, is like outreaching to people. And so we do way more outreach than like what I get pitched to. And I think that's a good way of thinking about it, is like maybe for you to be invited to something, you need to invite 100 people to come do something, like do a show, do a event, do a retreat, and just for free, just for helping, just to help people and to like get everybody's name out. And like, I love that you said that about like, you create your own stage.
Yeah. Ain't nobody gonna come to the dance party if you don't turn the music on.
I mean, I could sit in my room and be like, why is everybody else get invited and I don't? But it's like, that's not going to create
Absolutely.
And then this year we did so many events. I'm getting invited to so much more stuff than I ever have. It's because my network is so much bigger, because we're always doing these events, and then people want to reciprocate and reach back out, right? And I believe a lot in the law of reciprocity too. And I love that you said that about like being generous. When you're pitching yourself to be on someone's podcast or to speak or do something, when you're pitching yourself, like you're really asking them for something. Whereas when you're hosting, you're like offering like something to them. Like, you know,
Absolutely.
We want our speakers to get email subscribers. We want them to make sales. We want them to have a good experience when they come in here.
Absolutely. And you don't have to be, you know, B2B to host a bundle or a summit or a challenge or, you know, like a day thing with people. Y'all, I started as an RV travel blogger, and I had never even traveled in an RV in my life. I just wanted to. So I started the blog to get going on my dream. And so my very first collaboration, actually I wanted to write a book, but who has time to write a book? So I said, oh, it'll be a collection of stories. And y'all, I was like, you can't see my hand if you're just listening to the podcast, but I was this big, you know, I was teeny tiny. And I said, okay, well, how am I going to get these other chapters? Well, let me network across. Let me find those people that are sort of kind of like me. They just learned about affiliate marketing. They know like partnerships are good. And I asked other bloggers that were kind of in the first like 6 months to a few years of business, but weren't really making money. Hey, if you contribute a chapter to my book, you know, your name's going to go in it, and I'll give you an affiliate link so you can sell it to your own list, your own people. I had 13 chapters in that book. I only made one. I only wrote the first chapter, right? I just edited it. I put it together. That book put me on the map. People were like, whoa, who is this lady? How did she get all these people that I've kind of heard of in Facebook groups together? And you know what? I made $7,000 in that first, in the first few months. That book got picked up by an international sponsor. Guess what? All those people that were in that book, suddenly Liz Wilcox was the smartest one of all. Suddenly, everybody wanted to work with me. Suddenly, those bigger bloggers that I wouldn't have dreamed to reach out to, you know, were calling me, so to speak. And then I turned that into, I did an event. Like it was before digital summits, like before that was a word. It was like 2017 or something. And I said, oh, you could they were just promoting Facebook Live. It was a brand new thing. Like there were commercials on the Super Bowl for Facebook Live, right? And Facebook events used to be like a really big thing, right? You could RSVP, yeah, I'm going. And then you could go live on your event page. So I created an event on an event page. I had 3 people collaborate that I was in a peer mastermind with. And that actually turned into its own business that we sold like 5 years later.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it was just a collaboration. It was like, hey, if I could sell this, and y'all, I'm going to tell y'all a secret. That book that I made, It was a book about poop. It was a book about RV travel. If you've ever traveled in an RV, you know that you carry your sewage with you. And it was about all the crappy things that could happen carrying your sewage around, if you catch my drift. And so, like,
So funny.
I got my friends together, or these people that I kind of met, you know, on the internet. And I said, why don't we do something like, why don't we link arms? You know, we're better together. We're bigger together. We got to figure out a way to break out. And so we created this event. It was amazing. And it turned into its own collaboration where, just like Faith is saying, that, you know, people were coming to us all of a sudden. We were getting invited to a lot of other places. And that event still runs to this day. I created it in 2017. I got bought out of that company in 2020. And I think it's in like its 10th iteration with a new owner
That's so
that I've never even met. So you never know where your collaborations are going to take you. And honestly, it's really kind of fun to host your own, whether it's a book, an event, a bundle, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, especially if you're in one of those like really niche things where those things don't happen. That stuff did not happen in the RV industry. We were the very first digital summit, and our main sponsor, actually, after 3 years of sponsoring us, Camping World, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's really big in North America, actually took that idea and made their own summit. So you never know where your ideas are going to take you. And especially in those niche little industries where you think, oh, we don't do that kind of stuff. It is novel. It is groundbreaking. And it will literally like break you into the space like no other.
Yeah, it'll like put you on the map for sure. I was just coaching someone about this. She was talking about, what are we talking about? She was wanting to do, she's a marriage coach, and she was like, oh, but like there's not like events for me to do like you know what you guys do all the time. And I was like, yeah, do your own. Like you could do a virtual marriage retreat and bring in all these great people, and like really, I mean, if you could facilitate a really meaningful experience for someone that's struggling in a relationship, or bring couples together and help them connect, like they're going to have their minds blown. Like people are going to be, I was like, people are going to love you, and everybody's going to want to be a part of that. Like that's amazing. And so a lot of times too, like I love that you said that. A lot of the things that we've done in my business is I'm always zigging when everybody's zagging. I'm always like, everybody was like cranking out. I cannot tell you how many business coaches and people I worked with that were like, you need to like quadruple the price of the mastermind. That needs to be a high ticket program. It needs to be 10,000 a year, at least 20,000. I even had somebody be like, it's 20,000 a year. You should not give them that. Like not like literally like this is what because that's what everybody was doing at that time, you know? And now I just like look, and I'm just like kind of watching everything play out, and I'm like, look at who all is coming back.
Like, look, if Costco can do it, surely I can. I don't need Costco money. I just need Liz money. You know, I don't have to. Costco charged $60. $60. Did y'all know the majority of Costco's profit is from that one-time yearly fee of $60? Okay. Like if Costco, I don't need Costco money. I just need Liz money. You know, I don't need billions of users.
You were so expansive to me and influential to me during that time, because there was a time where like we saw it in the coaching industry where it was like everybody's like high end. And I'm just like, and I did some high end programs, and I had some high ticket one-on-one people, and I like doing that stuff, but I love my group and I just love the community. And I just knew if we did that, it wouldn't be the same. And you were so expansive to me because you were like out there doing it before everybody had all the $9 offers, before everybody was doing the low ticket memberships. Like you were really like the first person I saw like in B2B doing that. And I think that like to me is like just such a staple of a great entrepreneur. It's like, I feel like, you know, you're doing it right when you're doing like the opposite of what everybody else is doing. And we really try to position, I mean, sometimes you want to follow trends, but for the most part, I'm like, whatever everybody else is doing, we're going over here. Right. So we were doing
I love that
before everybody else. And now next year we're doing something different. I'm like, now